But I have always had the mindset that I'm responsible for my raise. Now, that freaks some of you out. Some of you probably are hurling salty language at me because you've been burned. You feel like I've done everything I can and I'm not getting a raise. And I want to acknowledge that. I do. I want to acknowledge that there are unhealthy places where you can bust your butt and they don't reward you. I acknowledge that. But if you are in a healthy organization, you are responsible for your raise. So good they can't ignore you is the idea. But I want to encourage those of you who feel as though you can't get that raise. Oh, Ken, I agree with you on it's got to be a healthy organization or I got to have my own. So let's look at a very interesting study. The author of this article spent 5 years interviewing 233 millionaires. Now, here's the breakdown of these millionaires. 51% entrepreneurs, started their own thing. 28% had a traditional 9-to-5 job. And 18% were senior level executives at larger companies. But here was the thing that they had in common. And this is what I want you to hear. They quit a mid to late career job. So they are further along in their career, mid or late career, and they decide to quit. Why? They felt it was the only way they could succeed to the level that they wanted to, including making money, building wealth. Some left to start their own businesses, obviously. Others found lateral roles that offered more growth opportunities and a higher salary. So, even when you are in an unhealthy environment that has put a lid on you, you are still responsible for your raise. So back to my statement earlier. You are now responsible to do what these 233 millionaires did, and that's quit. To acknowledge that you've hit your lid and there's nothing you can do to raise it. So now you got to go somewhere else. So what were some of the red flags that they mentioned? Number one was being underutilized. They felt like they were just zombies. This is the direct statement from the study. Zombie work, boring work that did not showcase their strengths. I wrote down they weren't challenged anymore, and they felt as though they were unmet potential. It's very personal for people who want to grow, and they can't grow. I go, I'm not meeting my potential. There are a lot of positives, but at the end of the day, I'm not maxing out. I want to max out. Toxic environments with really unhealthy leaders who did not value, pour into, and win their hearts. So they were like, I'm done. Gossip in the office culture, very unhealthy. Backbiting was another reason. Opportunities to make money. They felt, again, a lid on their financial potential, which is tied directly to that first one, which is just feel like I'm being underutilized. Draining commute was another. And then a unsteady industry or the company itself. Those were the red flags. But in all of these situations, and this is what I want to point out, these millionaires realized it's time to leave the nest. It's time to leave the nest. And I want to point out that it is possible for you to have obvious signs like the ones we just listed out, and you still come up with excuses as to why you should not leave. And the reason is fear, doubt, and pride. These three enemies of progress I talk about all the time on the show. Fear of failure, fear of what other people are going to say, fear of rejection if you got to say, hey, I'm leaving this to go over here. This is all real. Doubt. It's too late. Remember, these were mid to late career pivots. Oh, doubt sticks its ugly head up at this point. You've been in this industry for 20 plus years. That's all you've ever done. No one will give me a shot. I'm too old to make the pivot. pride. What are other people going to say about me? What are people going to think about me? It's not too late. And when it's time to quit, folks, it's time to move to something better. It's not about the bad. It's about the best.